I am a mentally ill patient who has become the heroine of a sadomasochistic novel. When I opened my eyes, I was falsely accused of stealing money. In front of everyone, a man named Pei Yan pressed me to the ground and wanted to search me. He is the school bully, his family is rich and powerful, and no one dares to mess with him. The heroine was stripped naked by him, and the nude photos taken were posted online. She couldn't stand this blow and dropped out of school not long after. Now Pei Yan's hand has reached my waist and is about to tear off my clothes. I looked at the young man with sword eyebrows and starry eyes in front of me and felt my heart pounding. He is my type. I used some grappling skills and suppressed pain under me with my backhand and asked him with a smile, Pei Yan, do you like me? Pan was stunned at first, then struggled violently, his face flushed with anger. Fang Min, what the hell are you talking about? I showed an expression that I understood everything. You clearly saw in Pan stealing money, but you pretended not to. You want to search my body, isn't it just to find a reason to touch me? Isn't this love? As soon as I said this, everyone was stunned. Lin Pan's face turned pale. Woo woo, I didn't, Fang Min. Please don't slander me. He has always been a green tea, and his first reaction when encountering things is to act pitiful. But this time, before he had time to shed tears, I pulled his school bag away. I shook the things inside like a seizure, and 3,000 yuan in cash fell out. I imitated his expression and twisted my waist artificially. Whoa, it's not you. It's really not you. The money must have grown wings and flew into your bag automatically. Puff, someone couldn't help laughing. Lin Pan's face turned green, biting her lower lip and pulling Pei Yan's sleeve. Pei Yan, say something. Pei Yan pushed me away, untightly protected Lin Pan didn't steal the money. It's just 3,000. I'll give it to you. 3,000 for each person present. This matter is settled. No one is allowed to spread it before going to the bank to withdraw money. He also said harshly, Fang Min, you bitch. Wait, I will let you know how much I like you. When he said, like, he deliberately emphasized, I suddenly covered my mouth and my heartbeat suddenly accelerated. After he left, my classmate patted my shoulder and comforted me. Don't be afraid. Even if he is a school bully, he can't cover the sky with one hand. I was puzzled. What should I be afraid of? If someone says he likes me, I will be so happy. There were big question marks in my classmate's eyes. Fang Min, are you okay? Are you scared? I assured him I'm fine, just I have mental illness. The psychiatric examination found a lot of problems, such as lack of empathy, self-centered beings, strong control, strong revenge, and tendency to hurt others. There are all kinds of pathologies. I only remember one delusion of being liked. Just like persecution delusion always thinks that someone will hurt themselves, I always think that others like me. When I was a child, my male desk mate just helped me pick up an eraser, and I concluded that he liked me. I even used my pocket money to buy a diamond ring to propose to him. When I grew up, my condition became more serious. I thought that strangers were interested in me just by nodding and smiling at me, and I would go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to register with them. Later, under the treatment of the doctor, I gradually understood that the opposite sex's kindness to you does not mean that they like you. I followed the doctor's advice and read more romance novels to learn what love is. Thinking of You 3,000 Times is the first novel I read. The strange thing is that the male protagonists in it are not good to the female protagonist. They bully, humiliate, imprison, and even want to break the female protagonist's legs. But these male protagonists love the female protagonist to death. So I realized that since releasing kindness is not love, releasing malice is always love. But before I had time to confirm with the doctor, I was in the novel and met Pei Yan, one of the male protagonists. Since I can remember, Pei Yan has bullied the female protagonist, sticking her hair with chewing gum, applying glue on the stool, and deliberately cutting the female protagonist's skirt into pieces. It became even worse when he went to high school, calling on gangsters to collectively bully the female protagonist. It was not until the female protagonist dropped out of school that he realized that he liked the female protagonist and bullied the female protagonist just to get her attention. The female protagonist in the original book only felt horrible and did not understand Pei Yan's love at all, but I am different from her. I know Pei Yan likes me and I like him too. The doctor said that people will treat others the way they like to be treated. For Pei Yan, if you like someone, you have to bully her, so I have to bully Pei Yan often. This is a two-way rush. And when I came back, the table had been turned upside down. The table and chairs were all muddy and dirty, and the sanitary napkins were torn apart and pasted on the table, spelling out the two words, bitch. My heart moved, and I looked at Pei Yan expectantly. Did you do it? Pei Yan curled her lips provocatively and gave me a middle finger. Nonsense. Do you feel my love for you, bitch? At that moment, my scalp was numb with excitement. He really loves me. I have to tell him that I love him too. So I kicked Pei Yan's table over, poured the dirty water that the helicopter had not had time to pour out on him, and ran up to smash his head with my school bag, a set of movements flowing like water. Pei Yan was stunned by my hit and fell to the ground unexpectedly. I sat on him, rolled up the unwrapped sanitary napkin, unstuffed it into his mouth. Hey, bitch, do you like the big bone your master gave you? Pei Yan seemed to like the word. Cui Yan seemed to like the word bitch very much and always called me by it. I decided to return the favor and call him by these two words. Bitch, are you shy? Why don't you speak? Pei Yan's eyes were about to spit fire. He struggled desperately, but only made a whimpering sound. I realized again that I must have been too gentle and he didn't like it enough. So I slapped him left and right, and asked him every time I slapped him, bitch, do you like your master to reward you? No response. Keep hitting. The classmates had already reacted from the initial surprise and came forward to pull me away, but I was so strong that they couldn't pull me away. Pei Yan was rewarded by me for 10 minutes until the bell rang, and I was pulled away by the teachers who rushed over. Pei Yan's face was swollen like a pig's head. I knocked out the teeth in her mouth was full of blood. Even so, she insisted on saying in a vague voice, Fang Min, you stinky bitch, sooner or later I will. I really didn't hear the rest of the words clearly because I kicked him unconscious. Beating is love, scolding is love. Love to the extreme is to kick. I kick so hard, can you understand my feelings? The head teacher is a greasy bald man. He said that I bullied Pei Yan and asked me to kneel down and apologize to Pei Yan in public. I said that Pei Yan provoked me first and I just fought back. As a result, he pointed at my forehead and cursed. Why don't they bully others, but only you? One slap does not make a sound. Sometimes think more about whether it is your own problem. Hearing this, I slapped him in the face with a serious face. Teacher, look, a slap can also make a sound. Before he could react, I slapped him again with the big slap. Teacher, let me test you. Why do I only hit you and not others? The head teacher was furious and said he would make me drop out of school. I took out my phone silently and started live streaming. Family members in 5 minutes. A poor girl who has no parents is bullied in school and is forced to drop out of school by her class teacher will come down from the rooftop, not taking the stairs or the elevator. Stop, 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 stop filming. The class teacher's face turned pale, and he dared not mention the matter of dropping out of school again, so he could only punish me to clean the toilet. As soon as I entered the toilet with a bucket, I was blocked by Lin Pan Pan. Without Pei Yan by his side, he took off his little white flower disguise and revealed his true nature. He asked me to take the blame for him, saying that I deliberately put the money in his bag, otherwise he would beat me up. I glanced at the 5 spirited girls following him, and I didn't rush to agree but pushed open the doors of the cubicles one by one. Not everyone has a mother, and not everyone will flush after taking a shit. Finally, I found what I wanted in the outermost cubicle. I picked up the stick next to me and poked it at the thing. Long hair sticks to shit. Ruby Yu is alive. I waved the stick and hit them mercilessly. The girls screamed and ran away. Ah, Feng Ming, you bitch, you are playing dirty. I raised my index finger and shook it left and right. No, it's not that I can't fight head on. It's just that the shit stick is more cost effective, I said, and I stabbed the end with the stuff into Lin Pan Pan's mouth. At night, Lin Pan Pan was sent to the hospital for gastric lavage. I ate hot tomato beef brisket noodles at home. We all have a bright future. At home, I met my sick brother. He held his chin and swept his cold eyes over my body. The look in his eyes was like a cold, venomous snake looking at its prey that was about to be strangled. If it was the original heroine, she would be trembling now, and her stomach hurt so much that she couldn't eat. But I have a God's perspective and know that Fujie Ayu also likes the heroine. He is the adopted child of the heroine's parents, 5 years older than the heroine. 3 years ago, the heroine's parents found that Fujie Ayu was hiding her sister's underwear. They were afraid that he would do something bad to their daughter, so they planned to send him to his grandmother's house in the countryside. As a result, Fujie Ayu deliberately set fire and burned his adoptive parents to death. After the death of his parents, Fujie Ayu became the heroine's guardian and began to control her life openly. If the heroine did not obey his wishes, she would be punished. During the meal, Fujie Ayu poured cold water on me as usual, saying that I was a waste and no one would love me except him. He told me not to go to school and stay with him obediently, and he would support me. I listened to him with one ear and let him out with the other, and ate my meal in silence. Perhaps my absent-mindedness was too obvious, and Fujie Ayu got angry again. With a click, there was a collar around my neck. Men, what is thinking about? Is there anything more important than listening to your brother? Fujie Ayu held the chain with his lips raised, but there was no smile in his eyes. You should be punished for not listening to your brother. A tingling electric current passed through my neck, and Fujie Ayu had a morbid smile in his eyes. Min, you are not obedient. No matter how you beg me today, I will not stop. Before he finished speaking, I snatched the chain and hit him hard like a yo-yo. Who are you trying to scare with this dog chain? You want to use electric shock to make me surrender? Ridiculous. I was admitted to a mental hospital when I was 7 years old, and I have been electrocuted since I was a child. I have been immune to this level of electric shock. Fujie Ayu was dragged down from the wheelchair by me, and he knelt on the ground in embarrassment, his face full of dullness. I waved the chain, whipped him, and cursed, "You want me to skip school and stay with you? Why don't you take a piss and see if you deserve it? You are a useless person who can't even stand up. You don't even have a decent job. You spend my parents' insurance money every day. You still have the nerve to say that you support me. It's obviously me who supports you." Fujie Ayu couldn't stand the pain and wailed. I listened to his screams and became more excited. Fujie Ayu is a sickly lover. His way of loving is to imprison, control, and punish people. The heroine can't accept this kind of feeling. But I am so cute. I untied the collar around my neck and buckled him around Fujie Ayu's neck. Brother, without me you are a waste, so you have to be my dog obediently, understand? Fujie Ayu likes to be imprisoned, so I will imprison him and make him my slave. Fujie Ayu was punished by me for a whole night. In the end, all the torture instruments he prepared for the harem were used on himself. His legs were disabled, and he couldn't escape, so he could only be forced to bear it. In the end, his voice was hoarse, and he cried and begged me to let him go. The key to training a dog is to hit him with a stick and then give him a sweet treat. I pulled his chin and asked gently, "Brother, will you listen to me in the future?" Fujie Ayu's eyes were blank, and no matter what I said, he would only say, "Yeah," obediently. I was finally satisfied and went to school happily with my big school bag on my back. When I passed an alley, I was blocked by a group of hooligans. They approached me with undisguised malice in their eyes. "Little sister, play with your brother." I knew at a glance that they were suitors who liked me again. "Oh, my damn charm. I appreciate your kindness, but I don't like ugly people, so I reject them." I silently pushed them apart and tried to squeeze through the gap. But the yellow-haired man grabbed my collar with a dark face. "What the hell are you talking about? Who told you to leave? I asked you to take off your clothes and play with me." I sighed helplessly. "Okay, since they insisted. Don't you want to play? Come on, let's do it together." The little hooligans looked at each other and smiled obscenely. They couldn't wait to reach out to my body. At this moment, I pressed the button. In an instant, everyone witched and fell to the ground, foaming at the mouth. Looking at the man who was like mud on the ground, I squatted down and slapped him. That's it. Don't you want to play? Get up. After slapping him a few times, there was no movement. I felt a little bored. These people are far inferior to Fujiayu. Fujiayu performed well yesterday. I like him very much, so I specially brought her token of love, the electric shock collar. I didn't expect it to come in handy. I can withstand the electric shock, but it doesn't mean that others can't. I picked up Huang Mao's mobile phone and planned to call an ambulance for them, but I accidentally saw Pei Yan's message. It turned out that he asked these people to play with me and said that he must take a picture of me crying in pain and begging for mercy. He really loves me, I cried to death. Pei Yan has expressed her love so much, of course I can't fall behind. I came to school early and made careful arrangements. During class, the teacher called everyone to get the test paper, and soon it was Pei Yan's turn. She didn't stand up but stared at me with an ugly face. I smiled and made a heart shape to her. Pei Yan's chair was already covered with super glue by me. Unless she took off her pants, she would never be able to lift her butt off the chair. How wonderful, inseparable, just like our love. I'm not feeling well, I'll get it later. Pan pretended to be calm and fooled it. When people are embarrassed, they will pretend to be busy. He opened the water cup, took a sip, then his face changed, frowned and spit out the contents in his mouth. Puh, puh. What is this? There were several cockroaches in his palm, which I caught specially for. When the heroine was in junior high school, Pei Yan once forced him to eat cockroaches raw. The heroine refused, so Pei Yan burned the heroine's mouth with a burning cigarette butt. Until now, there are faint scars at the corners of my mouth. Since Pei Yan likes to eat, I will let him eat enough. Pei Yan was so happy to see the cockroaches that he picked up the water cup and threw it at me, wanting to share it with me. I lowered my head in a hurry, and the water cup didn't hit me, but hit Lin Panpan instead, and the dead cockroach stuck to his face. Lin Panpan was stunned for a moment and made a sharp explosion. Pei Yan was anxious now, and he stood up suddenly, and with a hiss, his pants were torn off by the glue. In the dead silence, I whistled, "Wow, Pei Yan, your pants are so sexy. I like them so much." Pei Yan covered her buttocks and glared at me fiercely, her eyes red. "Fang Min, you wait." After that, Pei Yan and I began to express our love to each other. She made up a dirty rumor about me, saying that my private life was chaotic and anyone could have sex with me. I found the action movie of The Fourth Love. Air changed the faces of the protagonists in it to me, and Pei Yan printed it out and circulated it for everyone to read. Pei Yan was furious and offered a reward, asking people to collect money from her by taking photos of me. I colluded with others and pretended to be beaten. I split the money 50-50 and earned more than 50,000 yuan this week. After Pei Yan found out, she stopped the charity project in anger. She went to the principal and said she was willing to donate the building, but the condition was that the school expelled me. But she was doomed to miscalculate because I got the first place in the joint entrance examination of 8 provinces. I am now the golden cake of the whole province, the default provincial champion, and all schools are vying for me. The teacher changed his attitude towards me, asking me about my well-being, responding to my requests, and ordering others not to hurt me. Pei Yan's life began to become difficult. She was the illegitimate child of a wealthy man, and she had a bad reputation. She was not recognized by her family. During this period, she frequently asked for money from her family. Her father was furious and cut off her financial resources. Pei Yan finally realized that she could not beat me. She became depressed and began to avoid me. After realizing that Pei Yan was deliberately staying away from me, I felt bad. Men's hearts are like needles in the sea. Why did he suddenly become cold to me? But it doesn't matter, I still love him. I took the initiative to fill his school bag with mud, stuffed toads in his seat, and slapped him in the face as a greeting of love. I learned fighting before I traveled through time. Pei Yan was no match for me. I beat her all over every time. The teacher turned a blind eye to my behavior. Pei Yan became the one who had no one to turn to. Another day, I blocked him in the sports equipment room and planned to punch him twice to show my feelings. Pei Yan knelt down and begged for mercy. "Please, Sister Min, I was wrong to hit you before. Please spare me." I frowned and grabbed him. "What's wrong with you? You just love me too much." Pei Yan wanted to cry but had no tears. I don't love you. I slapped him hard. Nonsense. If you don't love me, why do you hit me? Pei Yan covered his face and was I continued to confess to him. I hit you to tell you that I love you too. Otherwise, why don't I hit others? After a long time, Pei Yan rumbled and said, Are you sick? I blushed and nodded. A mentally ill person also wants to fall in love. Pei Yan cursed with a hideous face. During this time, he was running away and I was chasing him, but he couldn't get away. When I was madly chasing Pei Yan, the last male protagonist, Song Xing, came back. Song Xing was the heroine's secret crush. On the surface, he was a gentle male god, but behind the scenes, he was a scum who played with people's hearts. He deliberately approached the heroine and gave her a little warmth in hell. After the heroine fell in love with him, he publicly humiliated her and posted the love letter she wrote to him on the bulletin board for everyone to appreciate. Now a group of people gathered in front of the bulletin board, and the girl's immature and secret love was read out loud one by one. Pei Yan looked at Song Xing expectantly, with a light of relief in her eyes. Song Xing, Fangman likes you, loves you, be with him. His eyes were shining and he almost knelt down and said, Please. Song Xing was full of disgust. No, Fang Min is dirty and smelly, and there is a smell of a garbage can on his body. I think he is disgusting. Pei Yan took a breath of cold air, and her eyes instantly became terrified. Lin Pan Pan screamed, pointing at Song Xing and yelling, Beta, how dare you say that? Are you going to die? The others also took 2 steps back and kept their distance from Song Xing. Song Xing looked confused. He had just returned from another place and didn't know my deeds. He thought I was the Fang Min that everyone could bully. I pushed through the crowd and walked up to him. After seeing me, Song Xing's amber eyes flashed with a hint of mockery, and his mouth opened and closed, and his humiliating words were never repeated. He said that I was a toad wanting to eat swan meat, that I should pee and look in the mirror, that he felt sick because I liked him, and that a humble person like me shouldn't even be in the same room with him. As I listened, the smile on my face deepened. Song Xing is set up in the book as a man who says one thing and does another. He likes the heroine but despises her and has to humiliate her. Just like now, he obviously loves me terribly, but he has to say the opposite to attract my attention. Is he arrogant? I understand. It's said in the novel that to deal with a TS under E, a forceful kiss, is the best. So I clamped Song Xing's chin and kissed him hard, a French kiss. Song Xing was stunned at first, and then he struggled desperately like a fish that was short of oxygen. I pulled Pei Yan, who was dumbfounded, over and used his back as a wall, trapping Song Xing between us. Pei Yan was as stiff as a piece of iron, not daring to move. I maintained this weird posture until my tongue swept every inch of Song Xing's mouth, and then I let go. I pinched Song Xing's little face and smiled sweetly. Song Xing, your little mouth is so sweet. Why do the words you say stink? Fortunately, I just ate garlic, which is antibacterial and can disinfect your little mouth. Don't fake me like you. Song Xing's ears were still red, but his face was blue. He itched a few times like a sick man, and finally couldn't help rushing to the bathroom to vomit. My face was red, and I was still unsatisfied. I was about to chase Song Xing, but I was caught off guard and met Pei Yan's eyes. I realized it later. I was just paying attention to Song Xing. Pei Yan must feel that she was ignored, right? Sure enough, Pei Yan's eyes were full of tears, and she asked pitifully, If you like Song Xing, can you let me go? I slapped him very smoothly. Be good, don't be jealous. I will treat you equally. I like both of you. I want both of you. Pei Yan was stunned for a while and let out a desperate wail. After school, I kept in mind the principle of treating you equally. I hugged Pei Yan with my left hand and Song Xing with my right hand. In the surprised and envious eyes of everyone, I swaggered out of the school gate. The two struggled hard, but they couldn't get rid of my strength. On the way, Song Xing couldn't help hitting Dar etched with his nose covered. I knew he did it on purpose, just to make me care about him, so that he could compete for favor in front of Pei Yan. I understand all these little tricks of men. I smiled doubtingly, reached out to touch Songxing's belly, and whispered in his ear with a low, bubbling sound, "Little fool, kissing like this won't make you pregnant. Don't pretend to have morning sickness next time, dear." Before I finished speaking, I couldn't help but burp, and the hot air sprayed on Songxing's face, mixed with the smell of garlic and digested food. Songxing's face was pale, and he was hunched over and vomiting bile. I patted his back gently to help him breathe. At this moment, a sharp female voice came. "Fang Min, it's you again. Stay away from my son." The middle-aged aunt rushed towards me with her fist. She grabbed my hair, pulled me back, and punched and kicked me. Songxing was already pale, and his face became worse when he saw her. He hurriedly pulled the aunt's hand back. "Mom, what are you doing? This is school." The aunt was grabbed by Songxing, and she still stared at me, looking at me as if she were an enemy. Only then did I recognize that she was Songxing's mother, Wang A, an aunt. Wang A, an aunt, had come to the school once before. At that time, Songxing did not pass the female lead in the monthly exam and got second place. After she knew about it, she came to the school and made a big fuss, saying that her son was a genius and it was impossible for him not to get first place. Someone must have affected Songxing's study. Lin Pan Pan happened to pass by at that time, and with a few words of provocation, the blame for affecting the study was put on the female lead. Wang A and then rushed into the classroom like a missile and beat and scolded the female lead without saying a word. He said that the female lead deliberately seduced Songxing and affected his son's study. With a weight of 180 kilograms on the female lead, he also kicked the female lead's stomach twice. The female lead was beaten to the point that the corpus luteum ruptured and was sent to the hospital for emergency treatment. Afterwards, Wang A and also spread rumors in front of the neighbors, saying that the female lead was sent to the hospital because of accusing her of an undisciplined life, and the female lead was almost jointly expelled from the school by the excited parents. After that, her grades plummeted, and she was humble like a transparent person in the class. Now Wang He and Anne still had a sarcastic look on her face, spitting at me. I was wondering why Songxing's grades had declined recently. "It turns out that you are seducing him again. Fang Min, you are a bastard born by a mother but not taught by her. You are already hanging out with gangsters at such a young age. It's not enough for you, a slut, and you want to seduce our Songxing. It's not enough that you killed your parents. Now you want to harm my son. I warn you, my son is about to take the college entrance examination. If you dare to affect his studies, be careful that I will kill you." Her eyes were fierce, and all she said were vulgar and dirty words. I realized that it was no wonder that Songxing's little mouth was smelly. It turned out to be hereditary. After observing for a while, I found that Wang A, in his ferocious look, was very similar to the manic patient in the ward next to me, so I concluded, "Songxing, your mother is crazy." Songxing looked embarrassed and seemed to be distressed about his mother's mental state. I smiled again. Fortunately, I am a professional in treating lunatics. I kicked Wang A in and down, and the basket she was holding fell to the ground. Songxing was also pinned down by her, unable to move. I pulled Wang Ye in Anne's hair and slapped her several times. The secret to treating lunatics is to use force first and courtesy later. After the beating, I straightened her face, looked at her carefully, and said seriously, "From the perspective of physiognomies, you have a face that will bring bad luck to children. For the future safety of Songxing, let me help you transform it." As I said that, I picked up the big durian in the basket and smashed it hard on her face. Bang, 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 bang. I smashed it several times in a row until the durian was broken, and I stopped. This time Wang A and Anne's face had dozens of red marks. Her nose bridge was broken, and her nose was covered with blood. I was satisfied and continued to pick up the basket. This time I took out a kiwi fruit. I stuffed the hairy kiwi fruit into her mouth. "What a coincidence! Your mouth stinks so bad. I'll give you this to cleanse your breath." Wang A and Anne struggled to vomit. I quickly covered her mouth, picked up the crab that fell on the ground, and used the crab's claws to clamp her mouth. I sighed, annoyed, and said, "You eat it when I tell you to, but you forced me to seal it manually with crabs." There were still a few crabs left. I untied their ropes and planned to stuff them all into Wang A and its clothes. At this moment, Song Xing finally climbed up with difficulty and rushed towards me. Fang Min, don't touch my mother. I reflexively raised my hand to block it, and in a flash, the crab raised its claws and clamped Song Xing's body. He wailed, his legs trembled, and he fell to the ground in pain, holding his crotch. I took a breath of cold air, a little worried about my happiness in the second half of my life. But in a blink of an eye, I saw Pei Yan laughing on the side, and I felt relieved again. As expected, eggs should not be put in one basket. Fortunately, I still have Fujia, you and Pei Yan. Wan A and Aunt already started rolling her eyes as if she was going to faint. I panicked because she was my future mother-in-law, and if she died, Song Xing would definitely be sad. I was a love-brained person, and I couldn't bear to see the person I loved sad. So I grabbed Pei Yan, who was watching the fun, and took off her sneakers, shaking them in front of Wang A and Anne's nose. Auntie, these are smelly shoes of King. Neon Men's High School. They will definitely refresh your mind. You smell them. Wang A and Anne's eyes suddenly widened, then her eyes rolled back, and she completely fainted. At the police station, I confessed my behavior truthfully. The policeman was stunned and hesitated for at least 3 minutes. So you said you beat her to treat her temper in bad breath? It wasn't me. I quickly waved my hands to deny. It was the durian Puyan crab. The policeman pinched his eyebrows, went out to make a phone call, and when he came back, his face was full of pity. Your name is Fang Min. You're a mental patient. Your parents are dead, and you have a The original heroine did not have a mental illness certificate, but I got it after I traveled through time. I heard that the national certificate can add credits, and I thought I could use it to get into college. Hearing this, the police sighed and went out to say to Wan I and Anne, he is mentally ill, just let him go. He also reminded me, no matter what, it is wrong for you to beat him like this. Apologize sincerely and let this matter be over. The police said so, and I decisively bowed 90 degrees. Smith Marcel, Auntie. I am just doing this with good intentions. Of course, Wang A and disagreed and yelled that I should pay her millions of dollars. Otherwise, she would go to court to sue me. The police immediately frowned and showed him the surveillance. From the surveillance, it can be seen that you were the first to hit this little girl. And I heard from the teacher at her school that you beat her into the hospital before. You beat a minor and caused her serious injuries. The court should sentence you. He became more and more angry as he spoke, and finally slammed the table hard and glared at Wang A and Anne. Wang A and Anne was a bully who only feared the strong and the weak. When she heard that she would suffer a loss in the lawsuit, her face suddenly changed, and she said with a smile on her face that she would not pursue the matter, and fled away from the police station. After that day, Song Xing and Pei Yan did not come to school again. Wang A and Anne was afraid that I would affect his son's study, so he asked Song Xing to review at home. Pei Yan's family had an accident. His father was investigated and sent to the police station, and he also dropped out of school. Time passed quickly, and soon the college entrance examination came. After the exam, I returned home, but Fujie, I did not kneel at the door to greet me as usual. The living room was empty and there was no sign of him. I did not rush to look for him, but went to the kitchen to heat up the oil first, pretending that I did not notice that 2 kitchen knives were missing from the shelf. Half a minute later, the door of the house was locked, and heavy footsteps gradually approached me. 2 knife-wielding gangsters broke into the house, laughing obscenely and shouting, "Hey, surprise motherfuck!" When they saw that I was holding the oil pan in my hand, the smiles on their faces froze, and the words were stuck in their throats. I laughed loudly. Mother is here. With a wave of my hand, all the hot oil was poured on the faces of the 2 people. The 2 screamed and covered their faces. I took the opportunity to pick up a rolling pin and knock the knives out of their hands. I hit their heads hard several times. After subduing them, I found Fu Jiayu, who was beaten all over in the bedroom. Fu Jiayu told me that the 2 gangsters broke into the house by picking the lock, wanting to steal things, but they didn't expect to meet people, so the burglary turned into a robbery. They tied Fu Jie. I up and wanted to kill him to silence him, but after seeing my photo, they had evil thoughts and disgust, raping me and then killing me. In order to prevent me from escaping, they deliberately hid in the bedroom, hoping to attack me when I was not prepared. I was a little scared when I heard it. If I hadn't habitually checked the surveillance at home before going upstairs and found something unusual, I'm afraid they would have succeeded. I kicked them hard on the head, showing my white teeth. You two bad guys. Even if you like me and like me enough to steal my things, you can't hurt Fujiu. You dare to attack the senior before you even enter the door. If you really enter the door, won't you make my house an easy? I dragged them downstairs by the chain. I don't want them, but it doesn't mean that others don't want them. There is a fool living downstairs, a strong man with a sturdy back and strong waist, but he was born with a defective IQ. At that time, he had the idea of taking me as his wife, but I directly hit him with an electric baton, and he immediately became obedient. Look carefully, I'm your father, not your wife. After that, he became obedient. Every time he saw me, he would smile and wave. Dad, hello. Dad, goodbye. The door opened, and the fool wiped the big snot on his face and asked with a smile, Dad, what's wrong? I gestured to him to look at the two people on the ground. Look, Dad brought you to Male Wales. Hearing this, the fool's eyes suddenly widened, and his face flushed with excitement. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Dad. I continued to remind him. Be sure to hide well. Don't let your wives run out. He nodded repeatedly, carrying the two people back to the house. I waved goodbye outside. This fool can't tell the difference between men and women, and he is as strong as an ox. In their desperate eyes, I gently closed the door. I wish you three a happy wedding and a baby soon. After graduation, the classmates unanimously decided to have a farewell dinner. Hei Yan and Song Xing tacitly decided not to attend, so this farewell dinner became boring. I opened the small cake I bought and planned to have some sweet. A little boy came over and pointed at my cake and said confidently, I want to eat it, give me that. I was already annoyed during my period, and I was even more annoyed when I heard the duck-like voice of this child. I looked up lazily, unsaid and happily. Why? What do you want? I will give you. I want you to die, so go and die. The child pursed his lips, stared at me, and suddenly reached out to grab my cake. Fortunately, I was quick and protected the cake. I squinted my eyes and felt fire in my heart burning more and more. I said, I won't give it to you. Who knew that the little thing actually spit on my cake? P-U-H. I let you eat it. You ate my saliva. As a mentally ill person, when else would you go crazy? I grabbed the child and clamped his shoulders. You still want to eat mango? I think you look like a mango. I nibbled and nibbled, biting his head with my teeth. Why are there so many hairs on the mango core? I pulled and pulled, pulling out all his hair. Suddenly my legs wide, and the child peed directly on my legs. He cried and yelled, Woohoo, Grandma, someone bullied me. I took off his pants and stuffed the urine-soaked part into his mouth. Since you call me Grandma, I will let you eat. You eat, and you eat it all. Garbage should be thrown into the trash can. So I picked him up and threw him directly into the trash can. It's funny to say that when a child is throwing a tantrum, the parents scolded me like they were dead, but they showed up. The old woman held the kitten through a tantrum at me. What are you doing? He's still a child. I crawled to his feet like a deformed species. I'm a psychopath. Killing people is not against the law. Back off. I want to kill people. I twitched and squirmed, crawling in the dark, foaming at the mouth. Suddenly, I grabbed the old woman's calf and showed a sinister smile. Hey, should I kill you first or the kid first? The old woman's face turned purple with fear, and she screamed, Oh my God, I met a living psychopath. Then she ran away with her grandson in her arms. The video of the restaurant was uploaded to the internet, and I became an overnight sensation. Netizens dug deeper and found that I was actually the provincial champion this year. This trending search exploded. Netizens were all amused after watching the video. It turns out that the top student can also go crazy. What a beautiful mental state. Sure enough, I am not good at studying because I am not crazy enough. I have learned that I will do the same next time I meet an naughty child. He can even bear not to beat the naughty child. He is really so well-mannered. I am crying. See, the provincial champion has given the answer. When you are in doubt, just go crazy. Even a TV station wanted to interview me, but I refused because I had more important things to do. I squatted for 3 days and finally found the right opportunity to tie Pei Yan and Song Xing to my house. The two of them were eyed the chair by me, with a look of horror on their faces. Fujie, you also looked confused, not knowing what I was going to do. I smiled with the knife in my hand. Dear friends, the four of us can live happily together in the future. Pei Yan saw the knife in my hand and her face turned pale. I was wrong. Don't kill me. I smiled and cut the cake into 4 pieces with 2 knives. I gave them each a piece of cake. Little fools, we are gathered here today to celebrate my birthday. The three finally breathed a sigh of relief. At night, I saw Fang Min in my dream. The college entrance examination is over. You can go to any university with your grades. No one dares to bully you anymore. Your life will start all over again. It's time for me to leave. He nodded and smiled at me. This is the deal Fang Min and I made. I helped Fang Min change her tragic fate, and he helped me escape from the mental hospital. Oh, by the way, I also want to take Pei Yan, Fujie, Yu, and Song Xing back. It's not easy to meet through people who like each other, and I can't bear to leave them behind. Fang Min was shocked for a moment and said in surprise, wait, so you really like them, and you are not saying this on purpose to get revenge on them? I said, as a matter of course, we are pure love. He didn't say anything for a long time and looked speechless. Seeing that he didn't respond, I was a little nervous. You won't regret it, right? Are you in love with them again? Fang looked like he had eaten shit. Stop, I know. You for live a good life, which is better than anything else. When I opened my eyes again, it was not the ward of the mental hospital, but my bedroom. The servant brought a tablet to me and asked, Miss, who do you want to marry today? I flipped through it and saw a familiar face. The corners of my mouth curled up slowly. I knew that we would meet again soon.